Hi everyone, my name is Corinne Campbell, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Skittles Fractions Visual Representation Manipulative. So for this project you need a bag of Skittles and a piece of paper so that you can document all of the different fractions. So what this is teaching students is that the numerator in a fraction is just the number that represents how much of the whole that we're talking about. So I broke up the Skittles by colors, the red, yellow, green, orange, and purple, and I wrote the top number of how many there were, and then I counted all together how many Skittles there were, and that becomes the denominator, which is the representative of the whole. So one of the issues kids often have with fractions is they think that the numerator and denominator aren't related to each other. And so this project shows kids that fractions really are, in fact, just representations of how much of a whole you're talking about, at least in one instance of fractions. The other part of this assignment that we're going to talk about is ratios, but for now we're going to talk about just the fractions. For the next part of the assignment, we needed a bag of M&Ms so that we could count the different colors from the M&M bag to make new fractions so we could compare with the Skittles fractions to see which bag of candies has more of each color. So for instance, instead of having the 60 be the total or the whole for the denominator and the Skittles in the M&M bags, there were 90 M&Ms. And there were 11 red, 15 yellow, 23 green, 32 orange, and 9 purple. So what we're going to do next is we're going to make a chart that will have the two types of fractions from each bag, and then we'll have to find a common denominator so that we can compare the fractions, and then we will determine which one has the greater amount of each color. So as you can see, there were 11 red M&Ms and there were 17 Skittles, but when we did the conversion to give them a common denominator of 180, there were then 22 red for the M&Ms and 51 red for the Skittles. So Skittles actually has the most M&Ms per bag. And then for orange, we had 32 out of 90 for M&Ms and 10 out of 60 for Skittles. But when we did the conversion with the common denominator, we found that there were 64 M&Ms to every 30 Skittles, so M&Ms had the greater amount of orange. And then for yellow, there were 50 out of 90 for M&M, 11 out of 60 for Skittles, and then with the common denominator and the transition, it became 30 to 33, making Skittles have the most yellow. And then for green, we had 32 out of 90 originally and 5 out of 60, but after we converted, we had 46 to 15, so M&Ms had the greatest amount of green. And then for purple, we started with 9 for 90 and 17 for 60, and after we converted, it became 18 to 51, so Skittles by far had the most purple. So as you can see with this strategy and this technique for teaching fractions, students can see how the numerator relates to the denominator and how you can use fractions to compare situations and ratios. Thank you.